here, of course, to celebrate the second anniversary of the all-new, revamped SonyLiv, which, of course, in June 2020 repositioned itself as a digital-first original streaming platform. Ashwini and Rana, where are you at your respective shows? At what stage? Ashwini, you're, of course, making a show called Fadu, and Rana, your company's produced a show called The Case Files of Hemant Rao. I'm sorry. Can you also tell us a little bit about the shows and also what stage they're at?
So hi, good afternoon. So Rajiv, I think Case Files of Hemant Rao was, I have to give due credit to Madhura Sridhar, who's here working with Sony as the South Head. He's pushed my office much faster than I would have pushed them to get that on floors. We've been a film company for about 50 years now, and our mind still is a 3-hour storytelling mind. And I just completed filming another show for another network. I think we've now just been progressing in understanding what long format writing means. Because we didn't live through a premium moment of television either, where television made stuff which was much more premium. But so I think it's we just started. We're done with writing. We're closer into pre-prod, so we get into filming very, very soon.
Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about the show, though?
It's set around the world of. It says from the title, it's Case Files of Hemant Rao. It sets around in that dystopian world of Hemant Rao in that case. It's also been made by a very senior cinematographer called Guan, who's on board building that film.
Okay, looking forward. Ashwini?
Fadu is an intense love story. It is completely Danish and his team's vision. When 2 years back when I got this call, like Sameer and Hansal, what they were saying is that most of the stories which happen in an intense, just on the spot moment, and there is no severe planning, there is no major discussion, there is no rounds of presentations. It just happens on a phone call and with a 2-line idea, and then it happens, says that, okay, do you want to make this? I think there's something really nice in this. And I do feel that stories happen like that. It just happens so impulsively without having too many discussions, and faith. The most important part about this show, Fadu, is purely Danish's faith in this story, because it's kind of little different. We have seen something like this maybe in the West, but having two character-driven, driving a story, and purely written on a screenplay, where most people, it's written beautifully by a writer called Soumya Joshi, who's also a poet. It's his first time as a screenplay writer. So he himself was, understanding between stage drama writing to writing a screenplay. And on paper, most of them who saw it was like, how are we going to show this? Therefore, I would purely go with Danish's conviction, saying that here is the story and just go have fun with it. Right. And I think that's where we are. Mostly all creators are always very judgmental about their work. Until the time it doesn't come on air or it is released in a theater, we are always thinking, is it good, is it bad? We have lost judgment of our own work till the time someone comes and says, you know what, there's something nice about it, and just go with the flow. So this is what is happening. So we, I think, have edited about 6 episodes. And
they're waiting for you to come back from holiday to complete the rest of it.
I didn't come back from a holiday. I was on work on another production, which was supposedly directed by my husband. So, it's we are co-producing that. So, I was partly on a holiday. Okay. So. So we have finished about 5 episodes. This is a long one, and he goes with his conviction saying that we have to have so many episodes. Right. And it's a poetic love story, so it's very musical. And what I really liked is that I wanted a certain kind of musician. I wanted Santosh Narayan from the South, and he has not done any music here. So this will be his debut, but Danish allowed me to go ahead So that intensity and that let's be available for the creators all the time is what Fadu is all about. Yeah.
Lovely. Danish, they speak very highly of you, of course. You're this enabler, this empowerer. I feel you're the right person to ask this question. And Samir, maybe you can also answer this. What is the difference? And maybe others would, ask you both as an actor and as a creator.
First, I think just in terms of how we engage with a certain piece of content or with certain characters, cinema, you come with a different sense of writing because everything needs to get completed within those 3 hours. You're introduced, your conflict, your end is there. And you're writing to a gallery that has to react at certain moments, right? So there's only a few definitive ways we can get out there. But I think a show really opens that up. It opens you up to writing drama to the fullest, exploring your characters to the fullest, or even otherwise exploring that world to the fullest. And I think we've just seen the early times in terms of where shows have been. I mean, films have been around for 100 years now. Right. And that skill of writing or making films is around for a long time. And I think now it's that first nascent stage that everyone's learning, and it's much faster that India will take a global moment in the OTT world rather than the film world, because it makes that much more easier for storytelling of that form.
Isn't it true? I think if you all honestly admit it, isn't it true that the general word on the street is that the streamers are also now slowly starting to think like the traditional film studios? Can we scale this up? Who's in it? Is that something that you all have been hearing?
Rajiv is asking, as CEO of Dharma Cornerstone.
I mean, we do hear that.
Do you want me to take that a little bit?
Yes, please.
See, one is, I think that myth is dying in the movie business itself. Today, if you watch the films that have taken that route of being pan-Indian films, it stars that none of them in the Hindi auditorium ever knew. But it's the business that will not let you do it the other way around. You would want to face in some manner, you need names, because that's how traditionally business has been moving. But as an auditorium, they never ever wanted a star unless, I'm saying, take for example the biggest one, KGF, that landed.
Right.
How many of you all knew Prashant or Yash before KGF won?
Right.
How many of you all knew Prabhas or me before Bahubali won? I mean, we just looked the part. So I think the OTT world has taken that forward, and I think you all shouldn't ever go into the direction that film has gone in. That's a suggestion for somebody who's been in the movies for a long time.
I had a question for Rana and for Danish. Rana, recently for some work I did, Ormax Media was telling me that the South on OTT is driven more by films than by series. I think except for AHA, I haven't heard of a single South Indian OTT, which is like, I don't know if AHA is more dependent on movies than series. But what is the, do you see that changing?
Like I said a little bit earlier, right? This long form is very, very new for us in terms of writing. In the Hindi industry is obviously seen a couple of years more in terms of the writers getting more experience, the production houses getting more experience, filmmakers moving from film to making longer format. It's very, very new for us there. It's literally, it's 4 or 5 of us that are making our first shows in long form. But definitely there'll be a lot more that's happening in that world. It's a very different world from what happens in cinema. And it's also, the South is 4 or 5 industries, so we have a lot of movies we make.
So it's a matter of putting the series out there. You're saying that there aren't enough series out there for people to
There aren't enough
consume.
series out there. It's also a habit of learning. I think the education will also happen as we make the first set. There will be more and more that will be coming up.